So it's been a while since Chuck and Amara have gone on their little journeys. So
Yeah.
I was wondering what you think they're up to now. Like, are they still working on their problem?
It's in my mind, my instinct is that they're not together anymore. I feel like they had a trip to Aruba or something, and they had like long walks on the beach, and they had like a heart-to-heart, right? And after that, I just feel like it kind of went, Amara's doing like weird darkness things. But I don't feel like they're still together. I don't feel like, because there's not unity in the world. It's like, you know what I mean? You've got to have yin and yang, right? And so, he's being yin, she's being yang, and, you know, but I don't necessarily think that they're together. So I think that so that in my mind, I'm like, okay, why don't you come on back now? Because you guys have settled whatever that was, you know, come on back. But yeah, I don't necessarily see them still together. It just, like, how much time do they need?
A lot of stuff went down between them. They need time.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you, get it. You were in our family counseling session. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, you know, the world keeps spinning, and God is certainly referenced a lot on that show. And, you know, I just feel like I just don't want him to, you know, forget about his duties as the almighty creator. So anyway, yes, they're working it out, but I still think he's got some time to get on back in the game.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We should ask the writers.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Alina. My
Hi.
question for you is, if you'd have, because you played God, if you'd have the supernatural power to change something, just only thing in the world, like, I don't know, hearing cancer, ending wars, or something like that, what would it be and why? I'm sorry, it's a bit like...
I know it's a big one. I mean, it's very almost vague, but I want to live in a world where we have complete tolerance for everybody and everything. I mean, it would eliminate all that bad shit if we could just tolerate people for being a different race, or having a different sexual orientation, or seeing the world a different way than you see it. If we could just have tolerance for all
Like
that.
changing mentalities?
Yes, changing mentalities, and so that everybody's just tolerant of their neighbor. You know? I mean, if there is a God, isn't that what God is trying to say? God is love. That's what love is.
Oh yeah.
So, to me, love is love.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I would say, I would do that. Change people's minds.
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
The story of Chuck's reveal as God is one of my favorite storylines of all time.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
So I'd love to hear your idea of your perfect return to the supernatural.
My perfect return.
The storyline where you will come back to supernatural?
Oh, when I come back again?
Yes.
Like, what does that look like?
What you would do.
So you're saying how would God return if he comes back again? Right. Gosh, well, it's funny because it's like really super hard to beat the way that they just did that. You know what I mean? But I think that I think it's really fun to think that there's some reveal of, you know, whether it's like, you know, you hear typing in the back room, and you're like, oh, and there's a figure, he's hunched over, and he's working on a script or something. Turns around, it's me. Or if it's something like, the sky just opens up, and I just like, all matrixy. And I'm like badass all of a sudden. I've got like a Matrix like jacket, and I say, "What's up, bitches?" And they go, "Chuck?" And I go, "I got sunglasses on." And I go, "Call me God." Just for a change. That'd be fun. And I'm like driving a like real souped up like Maserati. I've gone Hollywood. think it'd be fun if all of a sudden God went Hollywood. They're gonna like top me down off a cliff and make me Chuck again. Chuck's really like into the God thing. It's fun.
Hey Rob,
Hi.
if you can hear a song for the first time again, which song would it be?
That's a great question. Wow. Oh, wow. Yo, jeez. I can't give you like 3.
Sure.
Um,
For you, the world.
I would say if I had to just right now think, if I could hear Strawberry Fields. Paranoid Android by Radiohead. And Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Just because those are 3 songs that completely blew my mind the first time I heard them, and I'd love to have that feeling again. Like, what? Wait a minute, huh? Oh my God. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. You're like the heart of these conventions, and it's always really good to see you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask, how do you keep changing or like evolving as like an artist or like an actor, a musician, or anything?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can stand up here and be like, well, this is how. Like, I try. I certainly try to evolve as a human being and as an artist. But it's interesting, off the heels of that last question, you know, what I like about those songs, what's inspiring about listening to those songs, is that those songs were rule breakers. They didn't adhere to how songs were being written at that time. You know, when Queen wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, the record label was like, well, we can't release this as a single, we have to cut it down. And they're like, you know, the fuck you are. Yeah. You can put that on the radio like that, or don't do it. And so they did, and it's Bohemian Rhapsody, right? And, you know, same with Radiohead, and, you know, it's these, and, you know, and then the Beatles, like, who were like, just completely altering, did a complete change over the course of 10 years. It became a different band by the end, just because they were evolving so fast. That's so inspiring to me, that idea. And I think part of it too is just this feeling of like, okay, there are no rules. Sure, there are certain things in life you shouldn't do. But like, in terms of creating, tell yourself there are no rules. You know what, I'm gonna do this. This is not how I'm taught, but I'm gonna do it this way. And see what happens. And a lot of times, you'll be wrong. But occasionally, you'll strike gold with it. And I think that as an actor or a songwriter, like that's what I try to do, is like, you know, if I'm writing a song, like, what if I go to like this chord? Or something that you just wouldn't normally be done. That's how I, you know, or going into an audition, like, what if I just do it in a British accent, or whatever? And sometimes they're like, well, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? And then, you know, but sometimes they're like, wow, I never thought of that, but he's doing it like that. As a person, that's harder, but I am constantly evolving. It's funny, Jensen recently said that, you know, he felt like in his 20s he was kind of experimental. You know, in his 30s he like got married, he started to settle down, and now he's like a dad, you know. And my kids are older, so I almost feel the opposite. I feel like now, finally in my 40s, I'm experimental, you know. I am like trying to constantly, consciously evolve as a human being and be a better person. I just know I just want to be a better person and more, yeah, just a better person to myself, and then ultimately to other people as well. So just constantly work in progress. But I guess that's part of it too, is telling yourself like, well, I'm a work in progress. I don't think you ever wake up and go, I'm done, I'm good, I'm fully evolved. I think you just constantly keep doing that and honest yourself about it, like, which I'm constantly changing. I'm not the guy I was when I was 20. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
So I'm trying to teach myself how to play the guitar. How long did it take for you to learn? Do you have like any tips or anything?
Well, the first thing I did is I did take lessons when I was like 12, But I took lessons, and the lessons lasted about 2 months, but I learned like the basic chords, right? I just learned all the basic chords. So you know, nowadays you can find things online where people teach you how to play certain chords. Whatever that is, I would learn all the basic major chords on a guitar, just the open chords, and then the next thing I do is learn a very simple song, and just work on that song, work that song to the bone. That's your song. You know, for me it was like Twist and Shout. Ding, 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 ding. You know, like D-A-E, A-E, D-A-E, A-E, and just like did that over and over and over again, you know, which is also Desire by U2. Lover, I'm on the street. Right, it's the same thing. So that's what I would do. Learn those basic chords, and then learn a basic song, a simple song. Then start playing with someone who's better than you, and you learn a lot. I learn a lot from Billy every day. Yeah. I'm like, what's that? What are you doing there? What is that? You know, he'll teach me some new thing. So that's step 3, is play with someone who's better than you. And that's what I always did. In college, I was roommates with these guys who were in a band, who were better than me. I just learned from them.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, good luck. Keep doing it. Hi.
Wait, so I recently rewatched Felicity,
Oh, awesome.
and I saw the reunion you guys had in, what was it,
Austin, yeah.
Austin. So I was wondering first if you guys would like to make a reboot, if you want to play Richard again. It's one of my favorite characters, and it sounds fun.
Awesome.
And I also wanted to know if you had any cool stories to share from that set at that time.
She's asking about the TV show Felicity that I was on many years ago. It was so fun.
20 years ago.
20. Yep, exactly. Wasn't going to quantify it, but yeah. Yeah, it was so great. That was one of the best experiences I had. I mean, honestly, Supernatural was the only other set that I've experienced that was like that one, where it was just everyone liked each other, everyone knew each other. It was a real family there, and we were all so young, and it lasted for 4 seasons, and it really felt like 4 years of college. Would I play, my character's name was Richard. Would I play Richard again? Absolutely, I'd love to. It was so fun to play a guy who's kind of annoying to everybody and, you know, push the envelope every chance he got. So that was super fun. I'd love to do a kind of reunion thing. I don't think that would ever happen, but if they do, I'm in. And I'd love to see like where Richard is 20 years later. Like is he like a super successful businessman? Or is he like totally, you know,
I would really like to see where he is.
I know, I feel like he's like a douchebag banker or something. No offense to bankers, I love the work that you're doing out there. And then the other question is funny stories. I mean, there's so many funny stories, I don't have time to tell you all of them, but just like Scott Spnvan, Mandy Foreman, Greg Grunberg are still some of my best friends. We all hang out, Carrie, we all still see each other and just love each other so much. I mean, it was the kind of set that when we rehearse a scene and then they go, okay, you break for, you know, an hour while we set it up, and usually everyone goes back to their trailers, but on Felicity we would all stay on the set and just talk, because we liked each other, so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.